What is up, Collide? I am so glad that all of you are here today. Guys, today we're starting off our brand new series called Permission Granted. And this series, guys, is all about freedom. Now, I don't know about you, but when I was in middle school, all I wanted was more freedom. And like some of you may feel like you don't have any freedom at all, but in reality, guys, you do have freedom. I mean, most of you get to pick what color socks you wear, or what you eat for breakfast, or what you say to the people around you, or how you treat your friends. But sometimes I know it can feel like we need permission to do everything. So the question becomes, what do we do with the permission that we do have? I don't know about you, but if there were no rules and I had permission to do anything I wanted in life, I'd buy a pet camel and I'd hang out with it every day and eat Reese's peanut butter cups for the rest of my life. But in reality, if we did have permission to do whatever we wanted, think about it, things would get really crazy really quick. Like I said, if there were no rules and I had a pet camel, that would get out of hand quick because, in all honesty, I don't know how to take care of a pet camel. But I'm sure some of you are still thinking how cool it would be to have more freedom. Some of you may be like, Lainey, we have rules everywhere. We have rules at school, on our teams, with our friends, at our houses, in the Taco Bell drive-thru, even at church. I just want freedom. And some of you may be thinking, Lainey, more freedom would kill me. I already have school and practice and then family time and chores and my relationships with my friends. I can't handle more freedom. I don't have any room in my schedule for it. See, guys, freedom is a lot more complicated than we may think. You know, I used to think that if I had more freedom, I'd have less responsibility. But in reality, that's not how it works. See, you can't have freedom without responsibility. So how do we manage both freedom and responsibility? To help us, we're actually going to check out what it says in the Bible. So go ahead and turn to the very first book in the Bible called Genesis. Now, Genesis is all about the beginning of God's relationship with humans. And in the first few pages of Genesis, we read about how God created humans for good, loving relationships in a place called the Garden of Eden. So in Genesis 1:27 it says, "So God created human beings in his own image. In the image of God he created them. Male and female he created them." Isn't that sick? Like, we were made by God way back when, in the beginning. And even better, we were made in the image of God. Like, all of us, every single one of us were made in the image of God, our Creator. And there's more. We see as we keep reading, we see God guiding Adam. In Genesis 2:15, it says, "The Lord God placed the man in the Garden of Eden to tend and watch over it." Guys, God put Adam, the first human, in the garden not to do whatever he wanted with the freedom that God gave him. But God put Adam, and later on Eve, there for a purpose. And that purpose was to tend to a garden. Which sounds gross and kind of boring, but hold on, lock in for a second, okay? Humans were created with total freedom in the Garden of Eden. They lived in close relationship with God, and I'm talking like hanging out with him, right? And in Genesis, it says that God looked at all of that, and he was like, okay, this is nice, this is good. God looked at the freedom that he gave Adam and Eve, and he said it was good. But here's the thing, God didn't just give away that freedom. He made Adam and Eve to be responsible with it. Showing that responsibility wasn't something that they just had to do or wanted to do. It was something God created them to do. Like, responsibility was literally hardwired into them. So what do we do with that right now? Like, what does that look like this week for us? Well, here are 3 practical things that I want you to think about, okay? Number 1, be responsible with your freedom. If you want more freedom, you should show that you can handle the responsibility of it. When you own up to your choices, both good and bad, you build trust with the people around you, and that can lead to more freedom. Number 2, use the freedom you are given wisely. We all have a little bit of freedom, even if it's something simple like how we speak to our friends, or how we treat our family, or even how we react when something bad happens. Consider how you can use that freedom wisely. Ask yourself, am I making choices that reflect the kind of person I want to be? Number 3, ask God for help. Guys, sometimes when we think about freedom and responsibility, it can feel really overwhelming and like a lot to handle. But Collide, that's where God comes in. He doesn't expect you to figure it all out alone. You can ask God for wisdom, for patience and strength to handle that freedom and responsibility. Either way, guys, we have to be responsible with our freedom. So as you head to groups, I want you to think about this one question, okay? What's one way you can be more responsible with the freedom that you do have?